Hello, internets, and welcome to my first attempt at narrating one of my myriad Pokémon X and Y Wi-Fi battles I have stored on my game cartridge. Um, a little bit about myself before we get into this battle. Um, First and foremost, I apologize for the poor quality of this video, both in terms of picture and possibly commentary errors. Uh, I'm recording this on my iPhone due to the fact I do not have a better means of recording. So hopefully it looks okay. I'm not really sure how it'll turn out or not, but if this goes well, I will probably buy a better camera in the future, maybe a capture device for the DS, I don't know. And in terms of commentary, well, I have been watching video game commentaries for quite a number of years, but by no means am I experienced at commentating myself. Um, Talking for 10 minutes basically to myself is not something I am really all that familiar with, so I hope you'll forgive me if I make a few mistakes here and there, or stumble over some words, whatever. And in terms of actually knowledge about the game, prior to Gen 6 I had not played Pokemon in several years, so I'm a little bit behind on some of the metagame, trying my best to catch up. And at this point, I feel like I am familiar with most of the new mechanics and nuances of the game, but there's probably one or two things I'll still miss here or there. So please forgive me if that happens. Um, Now, this battle is a very good battle. Going to look at my team here, I have a pretty mixed tier team, which is what I like to use mostly. I tend to use my favorite pokes, which happen to be from every tier. Although I try to avoid OU as much as I can because I find it incredibly repetitive and dull. Although there's a few pokes from OU that I just can't resist using a lot of the time. So looking at my team, I've got a Crustle, who's my lead and hazard setter. Aegislash is just a standard physical Swords Dance booster. Sigilif, who is my Cosmic Power, Psycho Shift, stored power setup. Mamoswine, who I use frequently due to his ability to counter much of the OU metagame. He's just such a beast. I should have nicknamed him Dragon Slayer because that's basically what he does all day long. And you'll see that this match he more than lives up to to my expectations of him. I've got Relicanth, who I really like using, Head Smash Choice Scarf variant, and Tyranitar, who can't remember what I have on him this game, but probably some sort of physical set, I don't know. For my opponent's team here, it's a pretty solid looking team of Blaziken, Crocodile, Empoleon, Hydreigon or Hydreigon, however you want to say it, Trevenant, and Malamar. And I believe this is the first time I've actually encountered a Malamar. This battle was quite some time ago, and I did not know what to do about this thing, as you will see in the battle. It's extremely dangerous if you allow it to set up, and unfortunately I do, but you'll see what happens here. Okay, so she leads off with the aforementioned Malamar, and I lead off with my Hermit, my hazard setter. And she withdraws it, however, which I found rather curious because uh, later on you can see that she's clearly capable of doing some heavy damage to my Crustle. But I guess she brought out Blaziken to maybe boost up while I drop some hazards, thinking I couldn't do anything to it. And as you'll see, it does attempt to do just that. So it drops the home claws here, attack and accuracy rise, so basically like, oh shit, this isn't good. But I do have one thing that I can hopefully use to get around that, and that is King Shield. So one turn later, and there you go, King Shield actually manages to block the, what do you call it, speed boost or whatever. So he hits me with a Flare Blitz, and unfortunately gets a critical hit, meaning the end of Aegislash, which is quite sad. I was hoping to do a lot more with him than I wound up doing. I should have just gone for Shadow Sneak. I probably would have KO'd him at a Swords Dance boost, but bring out Crustle, and thanks to the amazing bulk of Crustle, he lives with over half HP from a high jump kick from Blaziken, and I'm able to set up a few hazards now that he's gone. And here's where Malamar really starts becoming a huge pain in the ass. Um, it's got this ability where all of its stat drops are actually converted into boosts, so for the attack and defense drop of Superpower, it gets +1 attack and defense each time, which is extremely deadly, because as you probably know, Superpower has got 120 BP, so it's just completely like rampaging through my team here with it. So I bring in Sigilif in an attempt to neuter it with the burn, thanks to Psycho Shift. But as you'll see, it doesn't really help a whole lot as he OKOs me with Night Slash anyway. Which is too bad, because Sigilif is a really useful poke, and I probably would have been able to do something more with it had it lived. So I bring in Relicanth, miss the head smash, damn it, that would have been really helpful, maybe. And get hit in turn by a superpower, which does a huge amount of damage, considering Relicanth is actually pretty bulky. And Relicanth gets 2-hit KO'd by Malamar, which really sucks, doing next to no damage with his head smash against him, so at this point I'm kind of in a little bit of trouble. My team is just getting decimated by this Malamar, and I'm not really sure what to do. I send in Hermit. I guess I could have saved him later for maybe Death Fodder, but I'm thinking I sent him out in order to get a free turn of extra burn damage. Since I don't really have anything that can counter this thing, all of my pokes are physical attackers, so its defense is just like way too high. As you'll see here, I do next to nothing with the Pursuit, which at the time I did not know would not be super effective against it. I should have just gone for a safe Earthquake or something. But fortunately he actually missed with the superpower, so Tyranitar is able to stay around at full health, although you'll see in the long run it doesn't wind up making much of a difference, as Blaziken comes in and there's not anything I can do against him. He goes for the safe Protect. I don't know why. You'd think that he'd know that Blaziken is always going to be faster than Tyranitar no matter what, but I guess whatever, there's not really any downside for him protecting. And he OKOs me with high jump kicks. So at this point, I have what? One poke left against five or six of his team. And my last poke is Mamoswine. So I'm like, okay, Mamoswine, let's fucking do this, buddy. So he comes in, gets the Ice Shard KO on Blaziken, so things are looking good at the start here. Unfortunately, the Sandstorm subsides, so I don't get the special defense boost anymore. But as you'll see, I get very lucky against this Hydreigon, who lives an Ice Shard, but unfortunately for her, misses the Fire Blast, which possibly would have KO'd me, even though I have Thick Fat, depending on what EVs she had invested in that. But I 2-hit KO it with the Ice Shard, and that's 2 under Mamoswine's belt. In comes the Empoleon, which again is really dangerous. Any water attack will likely OKO me. But I carry Earthquake, and good night Empoleon. 1-hit KO'd after spikes and Stealth Rock damage. So that's 3 under Mamoswine's belt. Here comes Ent, the Trevenant. Now, this thing is normally really annoying, but as you can see, it is no match for the might of Mamoswine, as I easily OKO it with the Icicle Crash. So that's 4 for Mamoswine. I'm at about half health now due to the Life Orb recoil. So in comes the Crocodile, takes some Spike and Stealth Rock damage, and I hit him with Ice Shard and OKO. 5 for Mamoswine. Now this is no boosts for Mamoswine, and he's just swept the entire team like a boss. I couldn't believe that I won. That was just like the biggest turnaround I think I've ever seen and that I've definitely the biggest one that I've ever personally done against another player. Uh, I'm really surprised I won that battle. I was really like outplayed for the vast majority of it due to the overwhelming might of Malamar. But I managed to get just lucky enough and play just well enough that I got around it and won. So I hope you all enjoyed this battle. I certainly had a very good time playing it, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.